and turn to the book of Esther. Continuing on in Old Testament survey, we come to the book of Esther. It's just before Psalms. There's Job and then Esther, two blocks to the left of Psalms. When you get there, turn to chapter number 4. That's the key chapter of Esther. And Esther is a familiar passage, I guess, to those that have been in church for any length of time. You've undoubtedly heard a message on what we'll read here in just a moment, verse number 14 being that verse that is so well known, or at least the portion of that verse where it says, "Thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this." There's a lot to be discovered in Esther. I think for the most part, most preachers hone in on chapter number 4 and verse number 14 when they preach out of Esther. But what you'd find is there's a lot that could help us and strengthen us as Christians in today's time out of the book of Esther. And I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. But let's read chapter number 4. This is the key chapter. Verse number 14 is certainly the key verse of the entire book. But we'll read the whole chapter to kind of give us an idea of what's going on here, and then we'll jump into the Sunday school lesson. Verse number 1, Esther chapter number 4. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, excuse me, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes, and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and a bitter cry, and came even before the king's gate, and none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. And in every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. So Esther